articles, she has helped carry her expertise well beyond the classroom. Her works include documenting the contributions of African American social work pioneers and advising social workers on how to preserve and strengthen rural communities. Iris has also served on 8 social work editorial boards, including the NASW Press Book Committee and the Press Publications Committee, and more than 20 service boards, including 4 appointments and/or elections with the Council on Social Work Education. More recently, she was the governor's appointee to the North Carolina Social Services Commission. So tonight, we honor Dr. Iris Carlton-LaNey for her career-long dedication to social work education, for which she has received numerous awards, and for helping to preserve the history of African Americans. Congratulations, Iris.
I am absolutely thrilled and honored to be the recipient of the 2020 NASW Lifetime Achievement Award. I'd also like to acknowledge Valerie Arntz, the North Carolina Chapter Executive Director, for nominating me, along with my colleague Sharon Thomas, who wrote a supporting letter. I would never have imagined being the recipient of such a coveted award. An honor such as this makes me feel that I've done something right in my career, something that has made my profession proud. I often speak to students about our professional obligations. I remind them that unless we incorporate an understanding of and appreciation for cultural distinctiveness and cultural differences, we will indeed be incompetent social workers. And that's not a nicety, that is an imperative. We're obligated to function as change agents and to advocate for social justice and to work to change an oppressive social system that rewards the few to the detriment of the many. I encourage students to question the evidence-based practice approaches that may well have had no Black, Brown, or Native people in the research study, yet are applied to these groups. Sometimes when I'm talking in class, I look into the eyes of the students or their facial expressions. I see doubt, resistance, and indifference, and even hostile questioning. As one young woman said to me, "My boyfriend asked me, 'Where do you get this stuff that you tell us?' And another said, 'My boyfriend said that my participating in rallies and marches won't make any difference, so why bother?' I learned really early on in my career that I cannot compete with boyfriends, so I don't try. But I do try to help my younger colleagues to see the importance of our professional mission and to examine some strategies for engaging in change. This student resistance can make my life difficult, and I could sometimes wonder if I do indeed know what I'm talking about. But this award helps me to feel some degree of vindication, because today one of my largest and one of the most prominent individual member professional organizations is saying, yes, you do make sense and you've done something right. It's especially nice to receive this award as a social work academic. As an academic, we're often thought of as professors or researchers, but not as social workers. Furthermore, it's easy to become disconnected from the practice community and staid in our approaches. In my effort to remain connected and to have some level of consciousness and to encourage interaction with the course content, I teach, as Bell Hooks said, to transgress, to go beyond boundaries of prudence and even caution. Teaching to transgress encourages a classroom that's dynamic, interesting, intelligent, and fun. I have, however, been criticized for not following my own course outline. To that, I have to say, how do you teach social welfare policy, and how do you teach confronting oppression and institutionalized discrimination in a political climate that is oppressive and volatile by sticking to a course outline when all hell is breaking loose around us, when ICE raids are on the upturn in North Carolina, when COVID-19 inundates Black, Brown, and Native communities, and when policing seems to be excessive in those same communities. So I'll get back to the Social Security Act of 1935 and the Older American Act of 1965. But in the interest of relevance and timeliness, we need to deal with today's traumas, which are exacerbated due to structural inequality. And finally, I keep in mind that I cannot compete with boyfriends, and I don't always get it right. But thanks to you, and thanks to this award, I've gotten it right enough times that I've made an impact. I thank you sincerely for this lovely award, and I will cherish it.